Power distance and hierarchies in South Korea. South Korea is a country with high distance and energy hierarchy. Usually, the eldest will start doing activity such as entering the room, greeting them, and having meal. Persons of lower status bow to those who are higher, as with other traditional society. For example, higher rank and senior members are required to sit in the middle or chief position of a room to dine and always get food first about the other. Usually the elder and those of the higher rank would first go to the buffet later on to find food. South Korea had a higher power distance index or PDI with a score of 64 as stated in the Geohostic cultural dimension. Power distance index or PDI, which is extends to which member of less powerful organization and institution accept and expect the power to be distributed unequally. This represents inequality more or less, but set from the below, not from above. It shows that the level of inequality in the society is guaranteed by forever as much as leader. South Korea geohostess described the climate that American or foreigner face in their daily business with a Korean business partner or employee. The distance and high energy hierarchy is not always present in personal life, but it also exists in the business world. In addition to the way of saying the name, negotiation with the Korean also show a distance of power. For example, senior Korean officials will not deal with younger members of the American negotiation team, no matter how skilled he or she is. Koreans are very sensitive about position and say that an American who wants to deal with higher rank Korean officials should be so old. In order to work well with companies in South Korea, the American people must be aware of the higher power distance and show respect by sending the appropriate staff to negotiate a successful deal.
The fundamental issue addressed by this dimension is the degree of interdependence a society maintains among its members. It has to do with whether people's self-image is defined in terms of I or we. In individualist societies, people are supposed to look after themselves and their direct family only. In collectivist societies, people belong to in groups that take care of them in exchange for loyalty. With a score of 18, South Korea is considered a collectivistic society. This is manifest in a close long-term commitment to the member group, be that a family, extended family, or extended relationships. Loyalty in a collectivist culture is paramount and overrides most other societal rules and regulations. The society fosters strong relationships where everyone takes responsibility for fellow members of the group. In collectivist societies, offense leads to shame and loss of face. Employer or employee relationships are perceived in moral terms, like a family link. Hiring and promotion decisions take account of the employees in group. Management is the management of groups. Individualism through fashion. In heel shopping districts, dripping in Gucci and Balenciaga, I quickly realized how important material items are for South Koreans. It was also evident that the young Koreans were aware of the latest fashion trends and wanted to show their peers that they were put together and always wearing what was in style. The young Koreans also practice individualism through their style. They really express themselves through fashion. Since South Korea is normally a collectivist society, I found it interesting that the teenagers and young adults try to break that societal norm through their fashion. Despite the lack of individualism in the older generation's fashion, they were still up to date on the trends and always perceived to look professional and put together. It was very evident that physical experience is an important aspect of their lives.
Uncertainty avoidance is the degree to which people tolerate risks and prefer structure over unstructured situations. Low uncertainty avoidance society are comfortable with risks, while high uncertainty avoidance society feel threatened by uncertainty and ambiguity. South Korea's highest score is in uncertainty avoidance, indicating the society's low level of tolerance for uncertainty. In an effort to minimize or reduce this level of uncertainty, strict rules, laws, policy, and regulations are adopted and implemented. The ultimate goal of this population is to control everything in order to eliminate or avoid the unexpected. As a result of this high uncertainty avoidance characteristic, the society does not readily accept change and is very risk averse. At 85, South Korea is one of the most uncertainty avoiding countries in the world. Countries exhibiting high uncertainty avoidance maintain rigid codes of belief and behavioral and are intolerant of unorthodox behavioral and ideas. In this culture, there is an emotional need for rules, even if the rule never seems to work. Time is money. People have an inner urge to be busy and work hard. Precision and punctuality are the norm. Innovation may be resisted. Security is an important element in individual motivation. The most important thing in Korean consumption decision-making process is the opinion of others, such as word of mouth, reviews, recommendations, and ratings. If there is a Korean who would like to buy a timber desk, she will see its design. In addition, she will ask this question: what do others say about their experiences using it? If there are defects, it's easy to return or exchange. That is smell good. How many years does it warranty? And no matter how much she likes the design, if she doesn't get satisfactory answers to the question that follow, she will rather pay more and buy something better. In consequence, customer service, especially helpline service by phone, food safety, and refund policy are very important in Korea. Everything in Korea must be done quickly and with certainty, from manufacturing, purchasing procedures, shipping, return and refund, to after-sale service. Many people buy products from domestic brands because they operate many local service centers and are more hospitable to their various service needs.
Okay, let's look at the gender inequality in Korea culture. In traditional Korean society, young women were taught the were tune of subordination and endurance to prepare their future role as a wife and mother. Women in general could not participate in social as men did. Their role was limited to household matters. According to the World Economic Forum, South Korea ranked 124 out of 149 countries in the world in terms of economic participation and opportunity for women. In 2018, women in South Korea often face a question
about their marriage status and plan for having a children when applying for a job. And when a woman in the workforce have a children, they often face a societal pressure to leave their job. Or if they return to the work, they might get a lower pay and be forced to take irregular works rather than return to the full-time position. This type of question are technically illegal in South Korea, but many companies often get a minimal punishment for discriminating against a woman. For example, when the KB Cookmin Bank was found guilty of discriminating against 112 female job candidates, it was only fined $4,500. However, social media trends create a huge impact for women's rights and gender inequality in Korea. People can easily get the information and be aware of impact of women who are being treated inequality. Many women face a sexual harassment in the work. Many women face a horrible thing which leading them to depressed and get physical issues and many other problems which make gender inequality seem to be a serious issue in Korean society. This day, many companies in Korea decide to not accept people who commit a gender inequality to avoid a trouble from society punishment and to avoid a bad image for their reputation.